This song's copywritten, I give up. Turn this shit down. Oh. That's good. That's not me. Interesting. Okay. What's going on? Their channel just go offline? It did. Okay, it's back. Alright. No. Weird fuckings. I kind of wish I had put Saints Row on here. My bingo. I really do think that's gonna happen. That would have worked. And I got 2 spots for Sony. Too late now. But Primetime's the only thing I'm co-streaming today. Tomorrow should be. Honestly, I wonder if anyone's gonna show up for this. This yeah, it's just Koch. Don't get me wrong. I think it's gonna be fun. You know, what if this song is like super copyrighted, and I'm just playing like a fuckload of it? Oh wow, did that really not pick up my voice at the end of that? Okay. Hopefully that allows for me to mumble a little bit more. Music's put me in like a somber ass. It's holding my head crooked. Maybe my webcam. Webcam could be crooked. Either way. I'm cocking my head. I'm just trying to make sure that. Guys, you gotta work this shit out. Why does your stream offline? What a show. Okay. I'm gonna refresh it manually. I don't think that's gonna hit. See, it keeps. The reason it's going down is because it's on there. Or my prediction. I really said Banjo-Kazooie, huh? Man, I was in a certain hopeful kind of mood I think there's a good chance I could get a beta, but I never do. I'll check off so many boxes, and I never actually get a bingo. Maybe this year.
Hello there guys, my name is Opal Cadman and
loud.
welcome.
Hold on.
Today I have 3 main tasks.
Where's
the
the
first
Twitch
one
source?
is to introduce you to Koch Media's brand new premium gaming label. Number 2 is to take
Koch.
a deep dive into some of the games coming to that label. And finally, number 3 is to show you what the new label will be getting up to in the streaming world. I want to welcome streamers who are co-streaming this today. Hello. Some of you guys are guys who I have looked up to and watched for many years.
Oh, thank you.
Speaking of people who I've looked up to for many years, I am so proud to introduce Jeff Keighley, who will be helping me co-host us through this entire list of games. Jeff, how's it going?
Thanks, Opal. It is so great to be here with you for the first ever live stream from Prime Matter. I was honored yesterday to reveal the label to the world at the Summer Game Fest kickoff event. And wow, you've got a lot of games there in that sizzle, over a dozen games. So I know today you're going to go a little bit more in depth to talk about all these games, to talk to a lot of the developers. But for those of you that might have missed it yesterday or just want to see it again, let's kick things off with a look at that announcement sizzle reel for Prime Matter.
Oh. That's what it was? Also, goodness.
Sometimes I ask myself,
why is this so loud?
What it all means. Let's begin.
So, okay, there is no silent or Saints Row today. I know what's in here. But this was a really good sizzle reel. I didn't realize Prime Matter was Koch Media. Hold on a second, it's called Prime Matter. Is it associated with Amazon? I hope not. I don't hate Amazon, but I don't want Amazon in on it, you know?
Is that who you are?
My purpose makes me who I am.
Yeah, Gungrave
Finally
looks so good.
Worthwhile.
Being relied on to succeed where others would fail.
Gungrave. Whatever that is. 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 I haven't heard of Mountain Blade. There we go. Gungrave and Mountain Blade. Those are the only ones I have even heard of before. Oh, but there's Payday. I know Payday. See, Payday is an interesting thing because
yes, guys,
I played Payday 1
and
I really liked it and it was a fun time. And Payday 2 happened and I feel like I got to play it like once and I really liked it and it was a fun time. Both games, I think I only played like a combined, across both games, combined like 2 hours. Maybe not 2, maybe like 5. It's a tragedy, because the games are so fun.
To deliver in a range of immersive and diverse games from amazing development talent all around the globe. It highlights the varied influences of global studios and their different approaches to game making. The new label will lead through creativity and expression, with games that enthrall players with larger-than-life stories, create incredible moments, and above all, they're fun. The team behind Prime Matter is a melting pot of incredible talent, led by seasoned industry veterans and complemented by a young, fresh, dynamic team of multicultural gaming experts. The team behind are gamers at heart, working with such a wide range of passionate developers producing games together by gamers for gamers. And that being said, for all you keen-eyed individuals out there, you would have seen that one game was actually missing in our 12-game lineup for Prime Matter during the video. That is a game that comes from the Embracer family itself. Jeff got to sit down with Todd Hollinshead and talk all about Painkiller.
All right, you saw the news yesterday. Yes, there is a new Painkiller coming, and Todd is joining me now to maybe give us a few more details. I know this is kind of a fresh project for the team at Saber.
I don't know if I want a new Painkiller. Actually, I know I've never cared about Painkiller.
Continuing to build out Saber.
I don't know. Maybe it could be good.
It's a franchise.
Maybe this could be like
you and I are both OG.
The new
we remember
next level.
It was it probably 15 years ago at this point?
Next level
it's
games.
Been a while, you know, closer to 2 decades than 1.
My God. All right, well, but it's one of those classic games.
I feel like I'm saying that over and over because I think this is cutting off my fucking voice again.
Perspective, you know, you've been in the
industry. I keep lowering the threshold.
Remember that game? Why was this a franchise that you
anyway
guys wanted to sort of bring?
So I'm worried because we're talking about Painkiller and we're doing an interview about it. And I really don't know who wants an interview about Painkiller. I think we want gameplay or a trailer or something, teaser.
Cool guns. These are the things that kind of hit the nail on the head of what appeals to me in a video game. Both as
this is because they have nothing to show.
As a publisher at Saber.
But honestly, I kind of hope they have nothing because if they're doing an interview for this,
you know, you guys are certainly
and they have something to show, and that means we're gonna get an interview about all of these.
Painkiller, you know, does have a lot of
maybe not literally all of them, but way more than we probably want.
A little bit of a twist to it. And you know, the fact you
guys
are working with Prime Matter is also exciting. You know, brand new publisher, brand new label. What do you think of the fact that they're doing this label and you know, it's such a diverse lineup of companies and partners around it? You know, I know you guys work with a lot of publishers, but it's pretty exciting to see a new label announced. That doesn't happen every day.
No, it doesn't. And, you know, I think that within the Embracer group, you know, it's just a business that is growing. We've got great leadership at the top. And so Koch Media is, you know, wanting to expand their publishing. And I think that, you know, the name they chose, Prime Matter, sort of is, you know, it's sort of like the primordial soup of putting together stuff from nothing. So, you know, it kind of makes me think of this is what we do when we make video games. You know, you start with Pixel 0, and then at the end of the day, you make a game. So I feel like that, you know, that kind of resonates with hopefully the type of experiences that we're going to be providing, you know, not just within Prime Matter and working with them between Saber and our partnership, but, you know, across the Embracer group as well.
Yeah, no, it sounds like they have a lot of games in development, but the fact that you are bringing back Painkiller is really exciting. And I know, you know, fans, of course, want to know a little bit about
I'm really curious. Like, bringing back Unreal Tournament, that's really exciting.
Probably can't share a lot of details.
It's like really exciting.
You're kind of in the early stages. Of
even though I didn't care for when Quake came.
Yeah, super early, and you know, if anything
bringing back Painkiller, really exciting.
Assassinated for back home.
I don't think it is
developer because you know all these. You know,
I really don't, and this isn't to shit on anyone who likes Painkiller at all, because I've heard it's a very good game.
We're trying to keep the lid on.
But is bringing back Painkiller really exciting?
Really awesome to show.
All right, well, we will be waiting for it, and we know with you involved.
Coming up, the chant. Am I going to get
special, like fast-paced action? I have no doubt. So
the chant. That sounds fucking. Did they say there was a game called the Chant, or am I getting get into some Koch shit?
Prime Matter. Thanks, Todd.
Should I know something about Koch Gaming? Prime Matter.
I really can't wait to hear more about Painkiller and the fact that Todd and Tim and the team at Saber are working on it. I think we're going to get something pretty special when they are ready to share more. So, you know, exciting stuff in that sizzle reel, Painkiller, Payday, but I know there's a lot more we're here to talk about today as well, right, Opal?
Actually, Prime Matter has 12 games under development right at this minute. We're so excited
this minute,
to show you guys what
exactly, everyone's working up to right now.
However, before you see some of the content that we show you today, I do have to make it clear.
I hope not. I hope they get to watch the show.
Pre-alpha, alpha, high-level concept, and some of it is about.
Also, the audio is all over the place. So I could keep changing it.
When you're viewing today's
I just
show. That being said, if I care. How do you guys feel about a psychedelic third-person survival horror game? set on what it means to go on a journey about self-enlightenment. and
Horror
what
I like.
happens when it
Survival
all goes
horror.
wrong.
I
I got
don't.
to speak with the developers of The Chant,
Resident
work in
Evil
progress
can do it
title,
right, but it
about
doesn't do it
their
right all the
game
time.
and who they are.
Our game is about
And Resident
a group
Evil
of people
is
who go
survival
to
horror.
a spiritual
Right.
retreat to seek enlightenment, and they basically get a little more than they bargained for. And your character has to deal with her own personal issues as well as the cosmic terrors that become awakened.
Cool. So, what type of genre is this game?
And it's a bit hard to pin down with the with all the different influences and styles of gameplay, but I'd say we're probably a survival action horror game.
Okay. Cool. And
Survival
what was
action.
what was the thinking behind that genre? Is it something?
Oh, we're
that
not
you guys
talking
like,
Resident Evil 2.
or
We're
is
talking
it
Resident
just
Evil
It came
5.
left field. What's your decision behind
Which is
that?
better.
Personally, we always wanted to make a
Man,
horror
I know
game.
some people who would eviscerate me for saying
a
Resident
big
Evil 5
part
is
of our
better
core
than 2.
team have a background
But it
in
is.
third-person sandbox games.
Throwing that out there.
And
Why
we
did
really
my
wanted to combine,
is my mic like fucked up or something? It's totally not outputting the way it should.
We felt that
I'm gonna
horror
try
genre
something.
was
Hopefully,
was
well,
a really exciting space to take that background and play around with.
So, kind of sticking with the horror genre,
I don't
why
know.
did you decide to go with that
Let me
theme?
try
It's
this.
not really like normally what you would see. This whole
Alright, it's still working.
spiritual awakening thing. So, what was the idea behind that?
We thought it was just kind of
It's
an
probably fine.
interesting territory to explore. There is, there's a lot of influence from that with like folk horror of the 70s and giallo horror and so forth that really inspired us more from a film standpoint. And taking that kind of aesthetic, something that was very sensational, very colorful, and mixing it in with more action-oriented and exploratory game mechanics, we felt was a
So,
fresh
show and
take
tell
on
is
the,
a
horror
really
space.
common thing throughout
So,
E3.
kind of speaking about your inspirations.
Usually
and
you
stuff,
show then
what
tell,
video
you tell then
games,
show,
real-life
whatever.
Media has inspired
whole
you to create this title.
Usual song and dance that goes around
way back,
E3 game
when,
reveals.
Resident Evil 2 is one of my favorite games of all time.
I feel a
Alone in the
little
Dark,
worried that this
Full
conference
Darkness.
is going to be
So
a lot of tell
games are
and
very
no show.
inspirational to us. Our game actually
far, we
started
don't
off
have
as
any
a,
show.
as a game with fixed
except
camera
for the
angles and so
sizzle
forth,
reel,
and then
which
we, over
I
the
might
course
add,
of- over the course
we
of
saw
development,
yesterday.
just especially
So,
really focusing on,
see, I'm
bringing more
really
of an
the
action
fact
element
I'm
to it.
figuring
We,
out
we've
because
since
people have
switched to
been
an over-the-shoulder camera
having
and
messages
haven't looked
about it.
back.
So kind of
There's
talking about changes
no
and,
Saints
and
Row
what
today,
you
no Dead
guys
Island,
are doing on
no
the
Time
development
Splitter,
side. How
which
close is
were the
game
big
to, like,
three
the
things that
original
people
concept?
actually
I
wanted to
understand
see,
you guys are still
and they were being
developing
super
the
cryptic
game's
about
quite far
everything.
out, but from your original concept to where the game is now, how much is that different?
And
The
they
core
literally they
story
called their Twitch.
and,
We know
I'd say
something
the
you don't know.
aesthetic and the
But right
themes,
now,
those
it
are
seems
all,
like we know
those
everything
all
they
remain
know.
intact. I'd say our gameplay,
All right. Yeah.
as our team size grew, we
So
we
if
added,
there's not
we added
a surprise
more,
here, and
we
Painkiller
added
better
deeper
not count.
mechanics, I'd say more action
Because
to the game.
from the way
Our
they were
game actually
treating
has
it,
a
it
fair
sounds
amount
like
of
Painkiller was
combat in
something
it,
people already knew about.
especially on the melee side. Those were
But if
things
there
that
isn't
weren't too
something
prevalent in our
new,
original concept, and
then
a lot
this
of
is
those things are just kind of
a load of
based
bullshit.
on
Put it-
we were a
to put it
very
mildly,
small team at
a
first.
load of
We were still a
bullshit.
relatively small team, but every new person that joins, brings something new to the mix. So I'd say on that end, the game has evolved in scope and depth of gameplay.
Awesome. Kind of sticking on that point of, you got a small team, there's a lot of challenges that comes with that. What was the hardest part of making the game so far?
The hardest part was probably trying to make a game that has more realistic production values, because that's where our background comes from, on a smaller scale and budget. So for us, we had to be very strategic, utilizing Unreal. We wouldn't have been able to build this game without utilizing an engine like Unreal. Previously, we had worked on more proprietary technology. And that's also great because new people that join the team can get up and running on the engine quite quickly. In addition to that, we've been using photogrammetry from the start. for both our environments. All of our characters are also scanned actors, and we're using, also tapping into a lot of what's going on in our city. Vancouver has a pretty big film industry, so really tapping into the film and the effects industry and tapping into that area of expertise to, to just kind of try to do things as efficiently as possible.
So you've mentioned like experience in the past and also kind of how rich Vancouver is. How much does that come in handy when you're working on the game?
Oh, it's been extremely beneficial. Vancouver, is home to a lot of AAA studios. A large portion of us work together at Rockstar and United Front Games, and we also have people who have worked at the Coalition and EA. As well as some smaller independent studios as well. And in addition to that, having the film industry here where we can utilize local talent. We're working with
for the record,
actors,
I was just told that apparently they confirmed no Saints Row
and
today.
We're actually
so
currently auditioning
before you get your hopes up like mine were up.
Characters for the game, and
apparently that's not happening.
Doing finishing touches on our new motion capture.
I haven't seen where they said that.
Doing a full.
But apparently they said
cinematics push over the coming months.
They're not talking about shit right now. It's like this is
place to be.
They're talking about some survival horror game that they're working on, and it's like, okay, that's neat. Maybe it'll be fun. Can you fucking show me?
At the minute where you are.
I think the thing I'm the most proud of.
Why the hell does he have a giant B button beside him the entire time? I feel like I'm about to fail a fucking QuickTime event, but my controller's not working.
Goal and vision. As I said earlier, we
sitting here trying to pass the fucking event, and nothing is working.
Everyone's managed to come together and really deliver an amazing amount of work for.
That's not actually what's driving me nuts about this. It's the fact that this guy has been talking for like 20 minutes.
To be working on a smaller team again, and just having that kind of energy where
turn it up a little bit.
On the team
He's not saying anything. Yeah. But let me turn it up.
I imagine that is a lot different to probably what some of you are used to coming from those massive studios. So finally, what are the benefits of signing up with a global publisher like Koch and also, being featured on their brand new label?
It's truly an exciting place to be. We've been kind of pushing our game as far as we could, and this partnership is really helping to provide more reach and more resources, but I think most importantly also just having a partnership on getting feedback and helping to really expand and push the vision of the game. We've already received a lot of feedback on the title, and being a small team, we're often in our own little echo chamber, and even in a short period of time,
how long has it actually been?
Act on a lot of the feedback.
How long has it actually been?
The game has improved considerably.
I think it's been about 15 minutes.
Thank you so much for your time. It's been awesome to talk to you and find out a little bit more about what you guys are going to be offering in the new label. And I can't wait to let gamers finally get their hands on the content. So thank you for your time.
From psychedelic horrors to internet rumors, our next developer created the huge open world
and we're not
getting
a trailer
and took us on an adventure through the Holy Roman Empire. However, there have been some leaks that this action RPG may have a home on the Switch. Opal sat down with Warhorse Studios.
Okay, can you link it? I want to look. If you can't, then I don't know if you're on mobile or whatever, but
that is quite
I can try finding it myself.
Yes, that's true.
I mean, I guess it doesn't matter if you've seen the tweet. Then,
as you said, it's about gamers, devs, and games. In
I'm
our
sure
case,
it's legit in that
gamers
case.
Play an integral part in the story,
which is fine.
Well,
I think they have said at some point they are making a new Saints Row, so that's all that matters. It's being made.
Preparing the release of the Kingdom Come Deliverance Royal Edition on PlayStation and Xbox, but someone most likely ticked the wrong box in Japan, and it looked like it's going to be released on Switch as well.
Parent company is making an announcement.
There was nothing existing like that. We were not even thinking of the possibility.
So Deep Silver was the only one who actually cared to give people a heads up about this.
However, Nintendo Japan took this information, some
Koch
Japanese media
did not
and
care.
Then the snowball started rolling all of a sudden.
They have been
It was
teasing
the
people
talk of the
with
day,
stuff
Kingdom Come
for
Deliverance
like
is releasing on the Switch.
days.
But as I
Like
said,
I pulled up the
nothing
stream,
like that was
you know,
planned
where they
at
had that
all,
office or
and,
whatever, all the
didn't
stuff
think
putting
about
in.
that.
It's like, oh, what could it be? What
Now,
could it be? It's
a
like,
few months back,
hey, and
we
like the
think
major
it's-
games
it was still
that you would have
somehow
wanted,
pulsing around in the
not any of
Nintendo
those,
database.
motherfucker.
Nintendo of Spain posted a picture on Twitter where they had different pictures
But
of open world
unfortunately-
games, and they were promoting already existing open world
you can see it
games
too. Yeah, that's-
on the Nintendo Store.
I should.
And if you clicked
I
on the
wasn't
picture,
going
actually,
to,
you
but I'm
couldn't-
going to.
There was nothing
I-
like Kingdom
it's
Come
like-
Deliverance, of course not, because as I said, nothing like that
It's
is
disappointing
existing.
news.
However,
Usually I
again,
don't like
it
sharing
created
that shit.
confusion. People were
Let's see.
talking about it again. Like, okay, so is it coming? Is it not coming?
Pull up my Twitter source.
But for us, actually, and as I said, we didn't think about that until that time. For us, we started to think. There's a lot of interest. There's a lot of buzz. People are actually talking about us, reaching out to us. Like they seem to want Kingdom Come Deliverance on the Nintendo Switch.
Looking,
so we started to think. And since we are already
this is
in
the
the
tweet
Koch
here.
Media
Our parent company, Koch Media, is making an announcement as
and
part of
there's a
Summer
lot
Games
talented
Fest on June
studios,
11th. To give
so
you a
is
heads up,
Saber
you won't see
Interactive,
Dead Island,
and who but them
Saints
would be
Row,
actually capable
Metro,
of
or
bringing
Time
the Kingdom Come
Splitters,
Deliverance
or at
on the
any
Switch.
other
So we
E3
sat
21
together,
or 2021
and now we are
event.
here talking about the Nintendo
So
Switch
it's
version of Kingdom
disappointing.
Come.
It's
So what you're
very, very
saying
considerate.
is that
Yes,
a community
I
of
am not
gamers
mad at
made
all
this
at Deep
happen.
Silver.
More or less,
I
yes, the
am
community
happy with
feedback
Deep,
we got, of
Deep
course,
Silver.
was
I
a
am
big
not
drive for
happy
this entire
with Koch
project.
Media.
But this comes from our general background. So think of the Kickstarter project.
Like
we had in
they
the day.
tease
So
so
without the
much stuff,
community,
and there's
there
so
wouldn't
many
be any
rumors
Warhol
about Saints
Studios
Row,
or
and like we
any
know
Kingdom
one's being
Deliverance.
made and
So we
everything.
always try
And
to
you
be
still
very close to them.
like
and
we know
try
you
to
guys
develop
own it
them,
now.
and even coming up with crazy
So,
ideas together with them.
why would
So,
you?
for
Those
instance,
are the
the Savior
big
Schnapps,
4 games
our
people
own
would want.
liquor, we created
Why are
later,
you teasing
came-
people about
was
shit no one
actually a
cares about?
community idea. We have our own beer brand. We recently released
But
a blue brick set, like a
Thing
building
is,
set
if-
for Kingdom Come Deliverance buildings.
that was the case,
and now
and they
one
were
of the
actually showing
latest
shit,
projects
I
is
wouldn't care
the
that much.
Kingdom Come
But they're not.
Deliverance
It's just this.
soda
It's been
bar,
this crap all
which
day.
should
They had an
give you
interview
the
with
real
the
medieval
painkiller
smell.
dude, and the guy's like, "Yeah,
In
we're
that
making a
case, I must
painkiller,"
say,
and then
actually
said
medieval
nothing
smells actually
for
pretty
like
well.
another 5 minutes. But at least he kept it
And,
short.
we are
And then the
coming up with
last guy,
crazy stuff like
like,
that,
"Yeah, we're making a survival horror
Our
game,"
next new
and then he
merchandise
talked about
product
nothing for like
is
10-15 minutes.
project is
And
a
now what's
Farkle
this?
boxed board game kind
Warhorse?
of. So Farkle, for
I
those who
think
don't
this is
know,
like
that's
Kingdom
like a-
Come 2
Kingdom Come
something.
Deliverance minigame, the dice minigame you can play.
I
in
do
the
not
game.
give
And
even
now
the
with
slightest
Griffon
fuck
Studios,
about
we
what
are
this guy
coming
has
up
to
with a
say
boxed
about a
version
game
you
I
can
don't
get
even
and
know.
Play Farkle at home against your
Like,
against your
he
fans
seems like a
or
nice
against
guy.
your family or
All of
whatever.
them seem
So,
like really nice
that's
people.
Pretty cool if you ask me.
They don't know how
But
to run a
generally,
conference.
If you're interested in these
And
kind
that's
of
what
stuff,
drives
just
me
check the Warhol Studios social media
But
accounts. You get
the thing
all
is-
the information you need there.
That's part of
Ooh,
E3.
My favorite.
It's all part of the
Soapy,
E3.
hot.
You get the bad so that when the good
Speaking of
happens,
soapy hot news, how
the
do you
good is
feel
even better.
About Warhorse being under the new label.
but right now, who cares?
It's a huge honor, of course. We were working together with Koch for over 4 years already. In 2019, we then even became part of the entire Embracer family. So that was.
So
a
let's
big
look at
thing,
when
and
E3
now
actually picks
being
back up.
able to take part at the beginning of something.
Because
new,
right now
be
we're
there
in
when
the
there's a
dark
new
ages
label
of
being
this.
created,
Battlefield 6,
is
that
a
was
big thing
a
for
dark
us.
day
And
because I got
especially if you
up
consider
super
that we
early.
come there as an
9 a.m.
established
Central is when I
partner
had
already.
to
That
start
is really
streaming.
cool, and we are
Actually, I
looking
started a little
forward
bit before
to
then, so I was
bright
up
future.
for like
Thank you very
an
much,
hour or
Toby.
so
We
beforehand,
cannot
getting
see
everything
what
ready,
Warhorse has got
super
to do.
early for me.
However, until that time, Toby.
And then
bye.
when the stream
So are
started,
we.
there was a
Thank you
full
very much,
hour
and
of
see
wait
you.
time.
From
Annoying as fuck.
internet rumors back to reality.
And
We
then
will have more on
Summer
Kingdom Come
Games Fest was
Deliverance
fucking
for
sick.
Switch as we get
And now we're back in another
Let's
lull.
move from RPGs to
But at least Jeff
FPS
Keighley's
games.
here.
Final Form, which is a working title, is an action-packed sci-fi adventure where you play the role of a humanoid avatar of a sentient spaceship sent on a mission to the edge of the known universe to battle an unstoppable plague. The game is still a long ways from completion, but here's a very quick peek at what's in store.
Ah, trailer, finally. I mean, the problem is, Joe, I still have to be there just in case they start it, you know? So it's like even with the heads up, I would have been fucked. It's basically like saying like, hey, you know, you're gonna get fucked up, but you know ahead of time at least. I guess. Yeah, I'm still getting fucked up either way. So I was excited for a trailer, but does this count? No, it doesn't. Oh, hold on, are we not done? Are you playing the same thing again?
Hi, we are
Raycon
Games, and what you have just seen is the first glimpse of our upcoming game called the Final Form.
Final Form is an action-packed, epic sci-fi FPS in which you are a female-formed humanoid machine on a space mission.
The way the background is going
return.
and everything with that guy talking, it just feels like he's slowly edging closer to you.
At the heart of
Like
the
he's
game
talking
is
to you about
mystery,
shit that you don't care about at a party, and you're trying to back away, but he is just not having that shit.
All about the freedom and power of movement, being a machine unrestrained.
Listen, let me tell you about the game that we're working on.
There are numerous
We put a lot of effort into
gadgets that come with your
I really hope that
body,
you
so
enjoy
can
our
give
game when it comes
yourself
out.
away to the fantasy of becoming an unstoppable cybernetic goddess blazing away in a spectacular ballet of destruction.
Raycon is located in Warsaw, Poland, with additional team members located all over the world. The studio was founded and is managed entirely by game developers. Since the success of Ruiner, we've grown quite substantially. Currently, Raycon is over 50 brilliant game creators, and counting. We are not a huge team, but what we love to do is to evolve together with our projects, constantly finding
It's almost making me
and
dizzy.
better ways to achieve something truly
Because
unique.
it's going backwards sometimes
We
and
build our
forwards the
work
other.
environment
And it's
just
like,
we
okay,
make
well, what am I
games,
supposed to do with
aiming
this?
for the best results and personal fulfillment. We strongly believe that the well-being of team members needs to be taken care of first, before we can pour all of that love into a game. The partnership with Koch Media has been very fruitful and inspiring. We're happy to be in the avant-garde
Exactly.
of the
That's the
upcoming
thing.
label.
Like, all of these
We're looking
games
forward to
could be
sharing
great.
more on Final Form in
They're
the
not
future.
showing me enough.
And
And
in the
I will give these
meantime,
guys
please
credit
enjoy
for
the rest of
showing
the show and
something.
see you around.
Something. But it's not enough. It's like, this is the big catch with E3. You want to announce stuff because you want people to get excited. You want them to be invested.
Moving on to our next game,
But-
which is just as special. What if you took Lovecraftian and
Can't
Gothic
announce stuff
themes
too
and
early
mixed it all
when you don't
together
have stuff to
with
show, you know?
hardcore RPG
They want to get
That's
the hype
exactly
cycle
what Massive Works
going,
Studios are doing.
but no one's
I got
hyped
to
for
sit down
these.
with their CTOs,
You're just
talk about
telling
their
them, hey,
game,
in the
Dawn.
future, there's probably going to be something you might actually like. But right now, no one cares. Yeah. And see, at least do it when you have a trailer ready. See, okay, here's game stuff. It's got world premiere across the bottom, which makes me think we probably saw this yesterday. I don't know, though. It does, yeah. Which sucks, but I'd say, you know, 2 years ahead of time is fine. Anything more than that is just... yeah. Like, 2 years for a really big game, that's perfect. I don't remember seeing this. That's Vision holding 2 swords. I'm interested.
Let's speak now to Gabriel Ferreira,
With the question mark?
CTO of Massive Works Studios, who joins us now from Campinas
Oh?
near Sao Paulo
Damn
in
it.
the southeast of Brazil.
I thought
So,
I was
Gabriel,
getting a
what is
notification
Dolmen
that
about?
something had gotten
First of all,
delivered,
it's a pleasure
and it
to,
wasn't. It
to
was a
be
fucking
here
ad
and to participate.
from
Well, so
something
let me
I
talk
really
a little
shouldn't
bit
sub
about
to,
what
but
Dolmen
they send me
is.
texts
Dolmen is
telling me
that
when
kind
stuff
of
goes on
game
sale.
that where the hero needs to save everyone from an alien threat, fighting with all kinds of monsters and struggling to keep going forward. Yeah, that's the kind of game that Dolmen is not about. In this game, you actually save.
You could have said
drillers,
so
which
many
is
different
the
things
alien
for what it's
species
not
that
about, dude.
live on the
What is it
planet,
about?
But you're going there to help a company save its investment. So you're not really the nice guy that's trying to save everyone. It's just a job. But we hope that the players consider the humanity, the greed, the war, and the spares and the challenges that come to mind along with that job. Taking all that part, and yes, Dome is also about fighting all kinds of monsters and struggling. After all, it is a hard game. It's a hardcore game. It's inspired on Souls-like, so yes, you're going to die a lot.
Awesome.
That automatically makes me not want the game.
Thinking about the name,
because when they say this is a
you guys
hard
went that
game,
for-
they're
went
saying
for
as a
that for
genre.
like a very specific reason.
This is all
What's the
Dark
thinking
Souls'
behind
fault,
the name? Why
for
did
the
you go for
record.
Dolmen?
They started this,
There was many
where
things that
people
came to our
just
mind
made
that
games to be
spurred
hard,
the name of the game.
and they didn't make them be fun.
Dolmen
Dark Souls
changed
1
a
was just
single
hard,
player,
it wasn't fun, but it had such a unique
megalith
world
Tom.
and such great
We thought
like
it would be
visual design
to describe
that
this
it got
stone,
pushed to Dark Souls
this
2,
crystal
which
that we have that is related
is
to
what
that.
it is.
In
And then
many
finally,
ways,
we've got stuff
everyone
like
that
Dark Souls
deals
3 and
with this
Sekiro,
crystal in the
Elden
game
Ring,
is close
that
to
are like
being
actual
bringing
good
problems
games.
to everyone that
But
is around.
Dark Souls
And
started this
we
whole
want this
shit
to
where
be
people are
the
like,
main
oh yeah, I
reason.
want to make a hard game.
Cool. Awesome.
It's like, don't make a
And
hard
now,
game,
I
make a
know
good
that
game.
people
If it's
may or
hard,
may
then it's
not
hard.
Have heard of Dolmen before, so it is
You
already
can
out
collab
there in the
on the way
world.
back from your
But how long
fuck,
has
I
it
can't talk.
taken to get to this point?
Oh, it's been a long
On your way
journey
back
since
home
the
from your
beginning
trip.
of
That's
the
good to hear
project.
that you're on your way back.
We started at
No.
late 2016.
Nothing
so,
cool happened.
It's been almost.
I wish I
5
could say
years now.
yes. This, because I did
Probably,
that
just a
yesterday
bit more
when
to come
I
out.
think it was my friend George left for a bit
But
and came
we-
back, or someone. They were
about our
like,
journey,
"Hey, what did I miss?"
if it wasn't the
And I was
support
able to
that
list
we
so much
had,
stuff. I was like, "Oh, they showed
since the
off Metal
beginning,
Gear or
either
Metal
our
Slug
community, the Kickstarter,
Tactics. They showed off this. They
you
showed off this.
guys,
You
I
know,
believe
you're
we would
missing
not
it. They're
be
showing cool
here
shit. You know,
right now.
today."
Lovely.
Nothing.
How have you
It's been a
been
lot of
inspired by
this.
other games? You mentioned,
They
like,
bring
the
up games
Souls-like
no one knows
obviously
a damn
inspires
thing
it.
about, and then
You
they
know, are there
interview
other
people for what
games
feels
that
like an
inspire
eternity.
you, and also, what games do the teams like?
Yeah,
First of
I
all,
will say,
regarding
apparently they
inspirations,
confirmed
a lot of games came
that
to-
4
came
games
to
will
us
absolutely
when
not
we
be
were
here, and it's probably
producing
the 4
game,
games people actually
when
wanted
we
to
were
see.
first thinking of it.
Dead Island,
Obviously, we are
Metro.
really passionate and we really love
I
Souls-like
remember
games,
one of the
so
other 2, but I wanted to say that one for
Bloodborne,
last. What the fuck? Dead Island,
Dark
Metro.
Souls, those games.
Clearly, I
were
don't care
our
too much about this other
main
one. What the fuck was it?
inspirations. But we
Dead
drew inspiration
Metro.
from all different kind of sources. So
I
we had
know-
inspirations
damn it.
in
Hold on,
Dead
what were they?
Space, in Mass Effect, and also not only inspirations in game.
Dead
in
Island,
movies,
Metro,
but
Time
also
Splitters was the other one I was trying to
inspirations
remember,
in
and
movies
Saints
and
Row, which is the one that I was
stories,
most excited for.
For example, Alien, Geiger.
Yeah,
and
no, I
those were
remembered Saints. I was gonna save
about
Saints Row for
games that
last
we
because I wanted to talk
most
about
like and games
how I
that
was
our
really excited
people,
for Saints Row
likes.
5 and how I
It's
loved
really
Saints Row
hard to
4 and
say
everything.
because we have
But I couldn't remember
a
Time
team that
Splitters
ranges from
for the life of me.
Vikings,
Metal Gear Death Stranding, that was a really funny
Dota,
trailer.
CS,
But the
Souls
problem
like
is,
games.
I still don't know what the hell
I can
director's
really
cut
tell
is.
you is that
They showed off
everyone
a bunch
our
of
team
new
is
enemies, I
passionate
think.
about the
I don't
product
think
because
that's how the
they
mules looked.
love
I could be
doing
wrong,
what they
it's been a
do,
while since I
which
played.
is a hard.
I don't think that's how the mules looked.
Yeah, and that makes sense as well when you get hands on Dolmen, all these inspirations that have
But
come
I'm
in.
in.
So the game
I
is
think,
set in a
you know?
sci-fi universe.
Even if they make me
Is
buy
there
the
any
game again,
specific
I'd
reason
probably
you
do it.
decided to go down that
Play
route?
Death Stranding
Was
all
there
over
any
again.
other routes that you considered at first?
There's gonna be parts of it that feel kind of slow because like it's kind of like for me watching a movie again. I've been through the story once
The
before.
universe has infinite
I know what's gonna happen. I'm
There's always
much less than
something
invested.
unknown
Death
that
Stranding, the
transforms
first time,
space.
is so engaging
So that
because you're
sci-
always curious
sci-fi
what's gonna happen
setting
next. Now I
really,
know what's gonna happen, so I'm much less involved.
Something that
So
we could use to
I think I'm in, but I need the director's cut to
everything that
offer me some
our
substance,
insane
and
minds could come
most
with.
specifically, I want
So
some
we
like
wanted
post
to
game
use
stuff.
sci-fi as a tool to reach digital,
Follow up
to
on
present the
you know what
player,
happens
a world of
after
unknown that
the
he can
finale
fear
in
and
Death
he
Stranding.
can
I want to
enjoy.
know,
No, absolutely. And while
but
we're kind of
maybe that's best saved for Death
on
Stranding
on
too.
the
I don't
point
know.
of humans and Earth, you guys are based in Brazil, which is awesome. Are there any specific challenges that you face during development because of that?
Yeah,
or just
for
in
real.
general?
Yeah, there
This
were
is-
a lot of challenges that
this
we
is
faced,
like-
along this 5-year journey.
I feel like I'm in class right now.
We obviously had to adapt our workflow in this last year.
Like, I feel like I'm just sitting in class.
So 2020
Especially
and 2021,
since I've been through a lot of Zoom
was a
classes and
really
everything, it's how it
challenge for us.
feels.
But it was something that we
Just
could
like
adapt
people are
well,
talking,
especially
I'm not
because
paying attention.
Even that
Sorry,
we're
teachers.
based in Brazil, we're not
I
only based
wasn't
in a
paying
single
attention in
location
any of your
Brazil.
classes.
We have people
But
spread across the country.
It's just people are just talking. They got shit to say, I guess.
Easy enough to overcome that challenge, but there were several challenges since.
I hope you enjoy
getting
the words coming out of your
development
mouth. I don't
kits
think a single other
finding,
soul on the face of planet Earth
finding,
is.
People that are really
Yeah,
capable.
that's
of
what I was
helping
thinking
us
too.
deliver
I'm like, this
this
sounds
amazing
like
game,
something that we
and that's
want
what we,
once we have info on the
gather,
game.
and that's
You know?
something that our company
And have it be like a separate thing,
appreciates
right?
the most and really
Have it be
gives
something
value.
where
It is the people that we work with.
you
They
present a
were
game
really
and you say all this
incredible
stuff and then you
people,
say, all right,
and they were
later
really
we're gonna
rare
have
over
developer interviews.
Absolutely.
But I think the reason why they don't do that is they know
on that
they have nothing to
theme of
show,
development
and as a
and
result, they know
challenges,
no one
given
wants to
how
see this
development
shit.
and technology often dictates
So
how
they
a
don't
game
want to do a
evolves
live
throughout its
stream for an
development.
audience
How
of like
kind
5
close are
people.
you to the original concept that you guys came up for Dolmen?
But
Well,
what do
very
they
different point of
expect to
views
happen
on-
here?
on
Let's
that
say they do
answer,
have a big reveal at the
especially
end.
because
Because
we
I will
started,
reiterate, they
really
called their
small,
damn
and in
Twitch
the journey
channel,
of the
we know
game,
something
for
you don't
example,
know.
It started as a concept
And so
from,
far, I feel like
a
they
few
don't
friends
actually
that get
have
together
anything.
and they,
Like,
brainstormed
they're
it
basically
for
saying, hey, I
months,
got
the
an ace
game.
up my sleeve.
So
Got an ace ready. You're
diverged
gonna
in
whip it
two
out, get that
senses.
royal flush when you least
And
expect
one
it.
of them, when we first thought
The
of
royal
the
flush,
game
not an
was
ace. I think it.
is huge and
think it does.
is insane and has
Anyway.
a lot of background.
But they're saying
on it.
that
It
they don't have a
it
fucking
has
ace up their sleeve.
all
They don't
this
even have like a
universe
2
around it.
up their sleeve.
So a lot of
They've
it
just
has
got like
been
more of their
built.
arm
So
up their
people that
sleeve.
loves
And that's
lore
literally
and
it. But they're
loves,
wanting to tease
uh,
everybody like, oh, you never
the
know.
universe that
Something
we're
big
creating,
it
they
could
will
be
have
coming.
a
I could
lot
whip it out
just
whenever I
on
want
that
to. I
side.
just don't want to.
But the game and from
I just don't
its
want to.
original concept,
Oh,
evolved
dude,
a lot,
I would
especially,
love that.
Now that we
But
have more
absolutely not.
tools at our disposal, so on the tech,
I
the
trust
tech
them and I
side,
believe it.
it advanced way better than we.
Big props on them
back
though for not
2016
only
and
saying,
how
hey, it's not today,
resources
but
that
also
we have
saying it's
now.
not at E3 at all.
So, of course, we made some
Because I would have
sacrifices here
been
and there
thinking,
in
okay,
order
well,
to,
no Saints Row
achieve our
today.
goals,
Maybe during
but
Microsoft we'll get Saints Row, but
we're never
they
happy,
confirmed it. No Saints Row.
With
That is off the agenda. Just like Skate
satisfied
4,
at that point of
I know isn't going to
satisfaction.
be here, so I'm not going to
We
be
want
upset
to
when it
reach
doesn't
more. At
happen.
the end of the day,
Because Skate 4
this is
is an
also a
EA
game and
thing,
we are
and
having
EA
fun,
Play isn't until
but
July.
on
I
top of
guess
all,
there's like
we
a
want to
slight
make
chance we
a
could get Skate 4 shown during the
brilliant
Microsoft
game
thing.
for the
But
people.
Microsoft kind of went all in on
And speaking
session.
about like making the game and the development
So,
of the game, seeing
Microsoft's
as you
all
are
about
lead
going
programmer
in
as
on
well,
like B-
what was the
tier
hardest
products.
part of making
And
the
then
actual
the A tier
game?
products go
I
to other
believe
companies.
that,
Like Skate's definitely going to be
we could have,
cross-platform, but
gone into
I can't see it being revealed
different,
there either. But anyway, I'm happy
options.
that Deep Silver let that
Especially,
cat
for
out of the
example,
bag. Like,
we could have
don't get excited.
wanted to make it a game that was
It's not this.
simpler or smaller or not have that many hours of gameplay.
But we'll see what
we
happens.
decided to go to
See, today,
a hardcore game. Even that the first game
today's
of our
Quick
company,
Media,
so
whatever.
we decided
Tomorrow
to
we
go
got
full in
Ubisoft,
into that challenge.
and that's dangerous.
We
Because
faced
you
a
go
lot
into
of challenges,
okay, I'm not gonna say
as
anyone
I
other than me.
mentioned previously,
I
but
go into
I believe the
Ubisoft
hardest part of the game
expecting
was finding
big
the
shit.
correct
But
professionals
as you see on my bingo board,
and
I expect them all to be
focusing
letdowns.
on what we were
Because that's
doing
what I've been
and,
taught.
you know,
Is that if a Ubisoft
keeping
game comes out, it
yourself focused
sucks.
for 5 years on
Rainbow
a
Six Siege
single
even
game
kind of
is something,
sucked.
that is challenging,
And it
for
still, in a
everyone,
lot of ways, kind
especially
of sucks.
right
But
now.
it just, it's
So
fundamentally
it was a
good. Like,
difficult
the
decision,
premise is good enough
but
that it carries
we
all the
wanted to
shitty
make
stuff.
that.
And you look past it, because the game at its core is still fun.
Regarding programming,
But Ubisoft
and
in
as
general
a-
just
as a
kind of sucks
programmer,
ass.
there's
But
a
at
lot
least
of,
Devolver will be fun.
that I
What about today, though?
keep talking and talking about.
That's
what
where
is
we
the
are.
hardest.
It's not
Multiplayer is
Saturday,
always,
it's Friday.
challenging.
What about today? Are they going to show
finding
shit?
that-
Time will
that
tell.
balancing fit.
Saints Row isn't
to
an
the game
E3. They're
that
probably not even close to finish.
It's not unfair.
Which is a good thing and a bad thing. It's a bad thing that it's not even close to finish, but it's a good thing that they're not showing it when it's not even close to finish.
So you mentioned like
I don't want to start the
years of
hype on
development,
Saints
which is a
Row
crazy long
if
time. How
it's
have
not
you
even
kept
close.
yourself motivated? How have the team kept themselves
I don't want to start that
motivated?
hype if it's not even close. Saints Row is the kind of game that you give less than a year from the reveal.
I would say that
You announce
most
Saints
of all,
Row,
we
you
were
show it off,
always
you
having
amaze
these-
everybody,
these
people
meetings,
flip out,
in order
they
to
throw
play the
shit,
game,
they're
even
so
now that we are
excited,
remote,
and then you say, and it comes out in 3
getting
months,
up,
and then people lose their
every
damn
day,
minds. That's what
making
Saints
meetings,
Row needs to be.
showcasing what we are doing,
But it
and
really
working
sucks that we're not
alongside
getting
each
that
one
this year.
of
It
us.
really sucks Saints Row 5 is
Also,
not
a lot of things
3
that
months
happened
away from
during-
now
before
or something.
COVID,
Because
was
not only
the
would I love
events.
a new Saints
The
Row
events
game,
always
but
made
where
us
the
super
fuck
happy.
is
So
is
showcasing the
Grand
game
Theft
to
Auto
everyone
6?
and getting the players to play the game
Where?
and see how they react.
Nowhere.
It was something.
We don't even
incredible
have
that
Grand Theft
really
Auto
made
5
us feel
on the
proud
PS5
of
yet.
what we were doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like
6,
everyone's missing that event
that's-
feeling, right? When you actually get
Gosh,
to
that
see
game,
people on the games.
I would
and
not
they're
be
like,
surprised
"Oh, wow,
if they have
everyone's loving
stopped
our
and started
games." I think
development
it's something
multiple
that
times
everyone
on that by
is
now.
missing, definitely. Speaking of kind of motivation and happy times, what are you most proud of this game? What have you guys worked on that you're like, yeah, we did that?
I believe that the universe.
I don't think any of them
the
can
universe
say
that
we
created
did that
is
yet because the games aren't
amazing and has
out.
a lot of background from it. So, for example, we even made some comics.
It's not
for
out, is it? Hold on a second. Let me look this up.
That we prepared. We
Doll
have a lot of story. Some crazy cinematics.
Okay, it's giving me
So
like
we're
the
really
term
proud of the
Dolman.
universe that we
Dolman
created,
game
this
on
game
Steam.
that we made. And
Release date
achieving
2021.
what we did is what makes us feel proud. And
They
now
have
that
a
we have
trailer.
partnered with you, getting to
Can I hold
expand
on?
that universe and getting to get closer to
I put this
our
up. Let me
original
see if this will
concept
work.
and what we meant for it. That is something that makes us really happy.
Cool. Awesome. Speaking of partnership with us, what are the benefits of signing up with a global publisher
Who gives a
like
fuck?
Koch on their brand new label?
That's really an amazing feeling for us. Koch really helped.
This is the game he's talking about right now.
Takes care of the.
I'm gonna drop some frames because it's loading a
operation that
video. You know.
We couldn't make it for ourselves.
This is the game he's talking about.
They have an amazing.
Is this? Hold on. Is this the trailer we got? I don't think it
So
is.
we can reach different countries and players everywhere. We have a great producer that worked with us.
This doesn't look bad.
Helping us reach our goals and.
See, look at
really
they're showing
deliver
gameplay.
what we want. And without Koch opened the doors for us.
Steam is doing a better job of promoting their game than this conference.
It's a great opportunity for us.
This
and
doesn't look
also
bad.
to know other game developers.
It looks like
and
PS2
the
era,
community.
but you know, it's probably a small
And
dev.
to meet you as well. And really, thank you for this opportunity.
Absolutely. We are so happy to have you guys on board. And more importantly, I am so excited to actually let people play this game at some point under this new label. So thank you so much for your time, Gabrielle. It's been awesome talking to you. And yeah, let's
See, that
release
doesn't look
Dolman
bad. Why
at some
didn't they
point
just show
under the
that?
new label. Thank you.
I
for
don't
your
need
time,
any more
and see you later.
information.
Thank you. See you.
I've been live for 53 minutes.
Now,
Subtract
the first
10
title
minutes
from
because I
Prime Matter
started
will
10
be
minutes
the
early.
beautiful,
You know,
highly
about
anticipated
43
King's
minutes
Bounty
of
2.
this.
We have a first look at the gameplay trailer, and then
Yeah,
Opal
exactly.
got
It's
a
got that
chance to sit down
clunky
and
like
talk
PS2
with CEO
era
Nikolai
feel, right?
Rushnikov.
The balance,
which is fine,
is off.
It's like it's nostalgic, you know. It's bad, but it's nostalgic, so it gets a pass, right? So
Our land,
I would be
Nostria,
interested.
dances on the knife's edge of fate.
What are we dealing with here?
King Claudius, my father, cannot lead, and his absence has set the
Yes,
realm
heartburn.
in motion. Something is coming. Now the burden of the crown falls onto me. Nostria was flourishing, but there is unrest.
It used to be beautiful here.
My wife and I had a nice life then.
I cannot imagine that's quicker than just like
sabotage,
skateboarding down that fucking hill,
necromancy.
right? Why did they have to build this very big, elaborate thing?
But we must unite.
Go down a hill.
Terrors are
they not have horses or cars or anything? Maybe not
tell
cars.
Of a false prophet, putting our hope in something that does not exist. A seer foretells that our Savior is among us.
Among Us!
People of
Let's
Nostria,
go! Good games!
You laid faith in my father. Do so to me.
Oh,
We must
still
look
excited about
towards the
that
horizon.
Among Us announcement yesterday.
darkness.
Are they gonna have an official hide and seek mode in there
the
now?
light of our land.
I'm so excited. Like, that's
For
gonna be so fun.
Nostria.
I hope they implement it well. No, I don't think I will.
Hello there, guys! Thanks for joining me, and I am joined by Nikolai Barinshtakov from 1C Entertainment, who is CEO and creator of King's Bounty 2. So King's Bounty has been years in development and has a 30-year pedigree. So what is it that makes King's Bounty 2 so special?
The original King's Bounty was a grandfather of games of series like Heroes of Might and Magic. So it created these turn-based gameplay.
That's not a
We
filter.
have
His room is actually that blurry.
Text-based battlefield, and the troops are moving in turns. Like chess pieces on the board. So I think that's the key, the cornerstone of King's Bounty.
Absolutely, and kind of speaking about that, and I know as you mentioned, the first King's Bounties was 1990, and then you had the King's Bounty that you guys created in the 2000s. What technical improvements, now that we're in 2021, are you most excited about implementing into the new King's Bounty 2?
Well, I'm a huge fan of the core aspect of the game with tactical battles. And if in the previous games, the battlefield was always a flat surface, so now we're bringing the battlefield into 3D. So we will have,
exactly,
sides,
I can't even implement a proper home.
Like simple example.
How's he gonna do a video game?
Allocated on the hill, they will do like extra damage for the high ground.
I wonder what offensive shit he has on his walls that he has to blur his background that much.
And then the whole
like damn, that's a lot of blur.
To move more towards games like Fable.
Maybe he just found a depth of field option on his computer and was like, you know what? I'm gonna max this shit out. You just see what happens.
Tiny little character on the horse just galloping around the map. So we are moving towards this kind of epic fantasy adventure. Because this is not like a small indie title anymore. This is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, production we've done in Moscow so far.
So speaking of the other King's Bounty games, will this King's Bounty 2 follow the other stories of the games, or will it be a standalone title?
No, the game will not follow.
Trying to match a little bit of the blur issues that get
even the previous King's Bounty, they all sort of like disconnected. There was like the main protagonist, there are a bunch of evil guys. There's like a small quest, and I would say that a previous King's Bounty it was not like an epic RPG adventure. So the game was more about just battling random monsters on the map. And solving some little quests. And then King's Bounty 2 is really, a epic adventure. We spent like dozens of hours solving puzzles, working with different factions, making decisions that change the character and the world. So we're really moving much more towards, an epic RPG. However, this is a rare combination where our game, King's Bounty, is not an action RPG. It's not a Witcher.
I'm just gonna act like I'm some douchebag on like a photography page now.
Enemies in the field.
Follow my
photography. Interesting crossbreed of a high fantasy role-playing game with a tactical strategy title, which I wouldn't. It's not like quote unquote was never done on console, but this is fairly unique combination. For the console, and for me, like a great inspiration was a modern remake of XCOM, for example, because I was a huge fan of XCOM that was released in 1994, 1996, and the modern console reinventing.
I've run out of poses.
This is something we're trying to achieve with King's Bounty. Really make a modern game that works well on modern platforms, that works well with current.
I'm trying to find any gimmick to make this entertaining.
Yeah.
What is going on? King's Bounty 2. It's a game.
Yeah, cool, awesome.
Next.
Kind of speaking about the story of King's Bounty 2 and how it differs, it appears to have a darker, more gritty aesthetic compared to its predecessors. What was the design philosophy around that? Why did you decide to go with that instead?
That's an interesting question. We've been debating on the design approach. And again, as I said, we
that my computer or was that the show?
Working on the core game.
Did your shit fuck up, dude? Is your background that blurry?
Previous game had this more cartoonish, kind of fancy indie look, but we decided we are now trying to play in different league. We're trying to make a much bigger title, a big game, an epic adventure. We've been astonished by modern fantasy titles both in Hollywood and in games, and we thought that this is a good idea actually to upgrade King's Bounty to what we call like high fantasy or like realistic fantasy. So it's not a dark fantasy like Kingdom Come when they're like dirty peasants, everything is bad. No, it's more like, as I said, like high fantasy. Epic characters. If there's a dragon, it looks like a dragon, not like a toy. If there's a villain, he or she looks like a real bad person. So that was the main philosophy. Plus, game development evolves, and I don't think that it's a good idea to take a game of 2008 and just make a replica with slightly enhanced graphics in 2021. So you need, especially for consoles, there's a specific expectation from somebody coming to the store or buying the game digitally or online. Okay, this is like a $49.59 game. It has to look graphically and gameplay wise like this. There's an expectation, and we believe that that's what we have to do.
Yeah, so we've mentioned that this game combines different kind of like ways that you can play the game, basically, from third-person RPG elements to this unique fighting system, this kind of chess-like fighting system. Why did you choose, with the evolution of game design and how people play games, why did you choose to stick to these hybrid game mechanics? Do you think that this is kind of what makes King's Bounty King's Bounty?
Absolutely. I think you got it spot on, so I don't even need to answer. King's Bounty is again is a grandfather of turn-based games. So if you remove tactical combat from King's Bounty, then it becomes, I don't know, Mass Effect or Kingdom Come. So so we can play around with evolution of this gameplay, make it more fun or realistic, but obviously this is the core. So this is a tactical game with a lot of role-playing aspects and high fantasy aspects, and not the other way around. So again, gamers who like RPG with shooting elements, games like Cyberpunk, this King's Bounty is probably not for them. I'm sorry, it's a different game.
Yeah, and in terms of, we've mentioned kind of this new 3D world that you're creating when it comes to the fighting style, and then these RPG mechanics and making this world feel more alive and more exciting. What was actually the hardest part of you making the game? What took the longest time? What kind of caused you the most headaches?
Hard to say. First of all, this multiple platform game, so there are specific technical issues that prolong the development. If you make just, let's say, a PC title or just a PlayStation game, then you are not having a headache of porting to different platforms, getting different specifications, TCRs, approvals. So that adds a lot. And then secondly, the production itself, as soon as we went away from this kind of cartoonish easy-looking isometric view into a 3D high fantasy and the production of assets. So we wanted to build like a huge map. We wanted to populate this map with a lot of characters that would just move around, go somewhere, have their own like stories. Then we decided to, instead of having like text dialogues, we decided to produce a lot of engine-based cutscenes to push the story, to explain what's going on. So we even had to buy our motion capture studio. We worked with like dozens of actors, and there are hours and hours and hours of in-game based cutscenes, which in the past could be just dialogues and pieces of text. That was another huge complication.
No, absolutely. And then the final question, what are the benefits of signing up with a global publisher like Koch and being on their brand new gaming label?
Oh, that provides us a lot of additional support because I'm not sure that all gamers understand how games get to the market. So making a game, writing pieces of code, or drawing this amazing sketch of a dragon is only half of the puzzle. So it's like yin yang. You need a lot of support from production people, testing, localization, manufacturing retail units, putting all this units into the retail shops in the world, making mass market communications. So we decided to cooperate with Koch Media. That seemed to be the ideal partner. So we are on the market for many years, and I would say very honestly, I was personally a bit scared if we do it just ourselves, that we might not have the human resources to deliver the information about the game itself. We'll work with all the platform holders as effectively as
still talking?
A co-production and co-publishing with such esteemed partners, Koch Media, Embracer Group. So I'm quite happy.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for your time, Nikolai. And I cannot wait for people to get their hands
honestly,
on
like maybe.
Oh, me too. Trust me, me too. After 4 years of development, that's going to be one of the most exciting days for me in 2021.
The most exciting.
12 titles.
Well, you're starting pretty low.
Saying it. And honestly, I shouldn't have a favorite. It's like picking between a favorite child. However, this next title speaks to me on a gaming level unlike any other. This third-person action-adventure shooter will keep you up at night tossing and turning with its horrific, nightmarish creatures. Think Alice in Wonderland meets Alien, or as one
at least Last of Us 2 started out okay.
Tomb Standing. Guys, sit back, relax, grab a pillow, because you get a world-exclusive look at
Did you say grab a pillow?
Good job. Dr. Ward, Dr. Yoshida, get to the bridge, please.
Am I that tired because of this that I heard things she didn't say? I swear she said grab a pillow. Does she know that this is putting us to sleep? She said, I heard, like, my volume's not up super loud. I would have sworn she said, grab a pillow.
Wow. How is this possible? What planet is this?
Which, ironically, this is the most engaging thing they have shown all day. We're over an hour in. Actually, you know what? I forgot I started 10 minutes early. We're almost a full hour in.
The internal conduction system. The 3 points on the rim seem sensitive. A targeted blast of electricity should cause a reaction. The debris. It's from Hermes. It must have splintered off as it entered the atmosphere. Mira. It's still intact.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that said it applies wet? Which I could have misread that. I didn't have too much time to read it, I guess. I wasn't paying too much attention. A weird status effect for guns to apply. Like, unless this is like a squirt gun game, in which case I'm in, because that sounds cool. No, it said it was efficient on wet. That makes a little bit more sense.
Entry. The creature has multiple salivary glands in its thoracic region. that seemed to produce a highly venomous secretion.
So you have limited ammo. You're expected to shoot those, and I don't see an ammo crate near.
The whole place is covered
I don't
with some
know.
kind of organic residue. Looks like Robinson managed to connect the
All these game trailers. Why can't we just have a long interview from the developers?
This will help me get through that tissue webbing. And I'm taking the MPU.
You're an idiot. He was clearly burning to death. You wasted a shot, dude. Give me the sticks.
Who were the architects of this place? Did they build these towering monuments to serve a purpose, or as a testament to their might? Were they looking for answers, or solving a problem?
Hey, Kate, why the fuck are you talking to yourself?
Oh my god!
Right. Guy seems easy.
This thing was huge.
It's not that big, honestly. Like, it looked like maybe 8 foot tall. Okay. Doesn't look like a bad game. I don't know what's going on.
Dripping with the fluid that's freezing the water. There's the brain, the neural pathways leading to various organs. The pseudocerebrum seems to be generating an electrical charge. This neural pathway is conducting large amounts of bioelectricity. This gland is secreting the cryogenic fluid that's freezing the water. The cocktail of digestive acids is dissolving local plant life into homogeneous matter. The process seems to be aided by bioelectricity.
So they saved all their trailer time for this. Confirmed. This could be the last thing they show, actually. Now that I think about it.
That really was something. And last week, Opal had a chance to talk to the developers, Mad Head Games, and ask them what their game was all about.
Hello there, guys. Joining me now from Novi Sad in Serbia is Ivan Zorkic,
I didn't
game
hear that
director
right.
at Mad Head Games, who's going to tell us all about his new project. So, Ivan, what's
Mad
Scars
Head
Above all about?
I thought it was Bad Head.
Scars Above, an alien object appears near Earth, and a team of astronauts is, sent to explore it to do a.
Imagine calling your development
scan.
company Bad
However,
Head.
For some reason that I don't want to go into now,
oh man, but it's mad.
It's
them, mad.
Like
okay,
in
that's
an
better.
Event,
that's a lot better.
Which causes them to be transported to an unknown alien planet. So our protagonist, Kate Ward, who is a mission specialist, she's an astrobiologist with a background in engineering. She's one of the members of the team of astronauts, of the team called SCAR team, which is Sentient Contact Assessment and Response. So she is on the ship doing the scan, and she ends up on this stranded on this alien planet. So one moment she's with her team in the ship, and the other moment she's on this strange planet alone. So she explores. She finds out that her team is also stranded on the planet. She has to find them first. And it seems that some time has passed. She doesn't understand
exactly.
why.
It's
and
paced so
the
poorly.
planet is very
we didn't
hostile.
need
So
all of that
bunch
gameplay,
of
just
creatures,
with nothing,
monsters, and everything seems to.
We could have mixed the two.
And
do the interview and the gameplay at the same time. Because no one's listening to
find
this
out
guy.
what's going on.
He seems like a nice dude. No one's listening to what he has to say. No one cares.
What does this planet want from them?
Just have the gameplay going.
The story unravels, and she actually learns about the place and learns about the mystery.
It really doesn't. You gotta keep people interested.
Stranded on this kind of scary, but also in a way strangely beautiful world, and facing a lot of nasty creatures and monsters.
Yeah, so it's like kind of keeping on
Again,
that
all these
theme
people
of the
seem like
realm
nice
of possibility
people.
and whatnot. How much in the game has its roots in the real world, and how much is just playing
this
crazy
is all,
sci-fi?
Well, it's
Koch
mostly
Media's
sci-fi, but the themes come
they had
from
the
the
power
real world. So
to make this interesting,
by the real
and they
world,
did not
real
make
world.
this interesting.
I think the best stories come from the real world, even if they're, about, as I said, dragons or fairy tales, and of course, spaceships and space exploration. Like, there's always this component. So on one level, Scars Above is about reason versus terror. And this is a very important topic to me, and that's a very real world topic for me. Like, in our world, a lot of bad things come out of fear. And this fear, gives birth to some unreasonably dark actions, which lead to more bad things and more fear and more bad things. And in a way, Scars Above is like, for me, a metaphor for reason standing up against terror, science against darkness, knowledge against ignorance.
So apart from kind of staying within sci-fi, and obviously that kind of opening up the possibility that this can actually happen makes sci-fi what it is there any other important reason to you to keep, that sense of realism still there in the game?
So there is, yes, there is a reason to keep realism, but I think the better word is to make it believable. So, if you go for absolute realism, you're kind of limited on what you can tell, the story you can tell. It kind of is like there is fiction element to the sci-fi, right? But we want to make it believable, and the reason why this is important is because I would like to create this what if vibe. I would like it if people actually ask themselves, like what if this really happened? What would I do if I were suddenly stranded somewhere on this strange, far away from home world, surrounded with monsters and terrors? Like, if you make this believable, people might actually think more about it. So we don't want to go like super realistic, but we do want to make it believable, so that because immersion is really important, so that people get immersed in this world and start thinking like, what would I do if I was in this in this situation, and what if this was really like, what if this happens someday? What if an alien object does appear near Earth someday, and what would happen?
Absolutely. And then you mentioned the lead protagonist, Kate Ward. You told about her job title. What else about her? Who is she? Why is she?
Kate is awesome. We love her. So Kate is a very strong and very capable, but also a very caring person. So she's an astronaut. She's a scientist, a team member, a colleague, an explorer, and she always has like this childlike scientific curiosity. But one thing she is not, and that's a warrior, like a trained warrior. She's not a soldier, so she's not like a space commando or anything. And and she does end up in a situation where like she needs to fight for her life. So that's a theme that's kind of like really interesting to us, because the fact that she's not a trained combatant doesn't mean she's not capable. So she has like a strong will, a sharp mind, and she's very brave and tough. But like she's under tremendous stress in our game, and we want to show how vulnerable she is, how scared she is, how distressed. Because true courage doesn't, it doesn't come out of lack of fear. It comes in face of fear. So we do want to show this fear, and it's actually like this, the fact that she's overcoming this, like fighting her emotions, fighting all the stress, that makes her courageous, and that's great. So she gets frightened, she fights her emotions, she's susceptible to panic, which I think kind of makes her relatable. Like she's not like I'm all out of gum. I'm kicking ass and chewing bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum. Like that's not her. She is like her heart pounds, her voice breaks, she trembles. But then, and that's what I really like. Like when her voice breaks, when she's like really scared, but she like clenches her fist. And the adrenaline kicks in, and she pushes through, no matter the obstacle. And she does it using her mind, and using science and using her cunning to craft these weapons and gadgets and survive against the odds.
Awesome. So you mentioned that Kate's a team player, and that Scar gets sent up. Who else is in the team? Who else are we going to be meeting on this adventure?
So she's a part of a 4-person team. There is the commander of the mission, Commander Robinson, Richard Robinson, and he's like a person with a military background, like a pilot and an officer, and like he is the commander after all. But the rest of the team are mission specialists, because and this is also kind of like the idea that it's this alien object appears, we send scientists and explorers trying to figure what's going on. So Kate is joined by her close friend Tamara, who is and also like a scientist and an astronaut, and by Mike, a little bit younger member of the team, but who is also like a communications expert, and like they're all scientists working together to solve this mystery. But Kate does get separated from them, and part of the game is actually uncovering the fate of her other team members, and I don't want to spoil anything, but Kate obviously cares a lot about her teammates.
What do you mean you don't want to spoil anything? You said the fate
of best feelings that you can
of her
have.
crew members. Clearly, they're all dead.
Up to date of Scars Above.
Or like
I'm
fucked
actually
up,
gonna give you a corny but
to the point where they will die.
I'm most proud of the team.
Or like they turned into aliens or some shit.
It's a huge effort, and it requires
you kind of gave away that bad stuff happened.
Focus, energy, dedication, but also like cooperation, communication, support. So it's just like looking at a group of people working together on a common goal, that's really inspiring. And I think that's truly the case with any development team. Like when you ask them like what you're most proud of, and I keep thinking like one day in the far future, I may actually forget some of the details during the development, but I will always remember the people I worked with.
That's awesome. And then last question, what are the benefits of signing up with a global publisher like Koch and being on their brand new publishing label?
There's a bunch of benefits, but like, having access to certain resources, to experience, This is a game, with many firsts for us. So having someone to just share thoughts and share the experience is really valuable. But on a personal level, I have to say this, and I'm being perfectly honest. Like, the biggest benefit for me was meeting a bunch of great people on your side, and I truly mean this. Like, it's a continuing pleasure to work with you. Not just not just talking about the game or how we can make it better, but just like we talk a lot, as you know, like we chat about various things. Just meeting you guys, like it's a tremendous boost to what we're doing. And I don't want to downplay like the obvious benefits, because there's a lot of them, like their infrastructure, the resources. But for me personally, it's just like meeting and getting to hang out with you guys. That's really awesome.
Absolutely, and it's a pleasure to hang out with you as well, Ivan. And thank you so much for your time. I cannot wait to let people play Scars Above, because I
wish these were like
have so much fun
less
with it,
likable
in the
people.
office. So
I feel better about
much.
shitting on this
and
entire
yeah,
conference.
We can't wait to see more.
Thank you.
But,
I'm looking forward
this
to people
conference
playing
blows.
the game. We're really excited about it. So, and thank you for this talk. Yeah.
Like PC
Now for
gaming
something
show, I don't
completely
even like the
different.
presenters.
Brian
So that's
Fargo
easy.
himself,
That is easy
the
money making
granddaddy
fun of
of
that shit.
top-down
So this, it's like I
isometric
like some of the
says
people.
he is excited about a game
I don't
that's
want
gotta
them
mean
to have a
Prime
bad
Matter is
conference,
getting
but they
something
just
right.
are
Encased
having
is
a
an
bad
isometric
conference.
dystopian sci-fi RPG scheduled for release this autumn. And this new trailer, which we're unveiling today, should give you a pretty good flavor of what the game is all about.
Pretty good
It's 1976, and the future has
mean
arrived.
taste?
But here's the skinny. We at Cronus need you. Cronus was formed after a dome-like structure was discovered 5 years ago. Was it from our ancient past? Was it made by aliens? Does it run on perfectly harmless nuclear power? We need to know, and humanity is waiting for you to help unlock its secrets. Descend into the dome itself and join one of our incredible research teams. The only question is, which wing of Cronus is the best fit for you? If you like taking orders, cracking heads, ultra-violence, and guns, lots of guns, then the Black Wing is for you. Can you build and repair incredible technology, but not expect any credit for it? You sound like an engineer to us. Welcome to the Blue Wing. Are you a doctor, scientist, mathematician, or any other type of brainiac? We've got you covered in the White Wing. Do you like taking credit for the hard work of others, but never do anything yourself? Those forms won't fill themselves. That's management, mister.
Yeah,
And
the premise
silver
definitely
wing
seems like
awaits.
discount Fallout.
Are you a criminal?
The
prisoner, or
gameplay
have no discernible skills
somehow looks less
whatsoever?
fun.
Then you're coming to the Orange
I didn't
Wing.
think it was possible
Like
for a
it or
game to look
not.
less fun than
Are
Fallout,
you ready
but
for adventure?
I think this is doing
Are
it.
you ready to make
I
the
think this
change
is
with us?
actually less
Are
fun
you
than
ready to
Fallout.
love it so much that you'll never
Huh.
want to leave? Then join Cronus and take the second giant leap for mankind under the dome.
And that's not all. Opal got to sit down with the creative brains behind Encased. Check it out.
Let's go to St. Petersburg in Russia and speak to Vyacheslav Kosahin, creative director of Dark Crystal Games and the brains behind their upcoming isometric RPG Encased. So, Slava, what is Encased?
So Encased is an old-school RPG in the sci-fi post-apocalyptic setting, basically.
Awesome. So the name Encased is kind of, it's a word and it has various meanings. What's the thinking behind the name?
The thinking behind the name comes from the setting of the game, from one main entity of it, which is the dome. The game takes place in the anomalous zone called the Dome, which was found somewhere in the last unknown desert on the Earth and on our planet. And well, basically people who get in there, various scientists, technicians, soldiers and adventurers, they can't get back. This is sort of a one-way road, so those guys who explore the dome, they're encased in there, which I think makes some sense in this regard.
Absolutely. Yes. So I know that you guys have been developing this game for kind of a long time now. How long has it actually taken to get to the point where you are now?
So we are developing the game for 3.5 years now. We started late in 2017 with some pre-production, but obviously we have thoughts about a project like this for years and years before that, before those crystallized in something, something that really exists. So it takes 10 years of thinking behind this game, this project, and 3.5 years of actual production time to this point.
So considering how long it takes, how do you guys keep yourself so motivated just on one?
I heard about that, but did they say anything more about
it? We can't say we have any problems with motivation or our own, because for most, if not everyone on the team, this is the dream project that comes to life. So that's fine in this regard. The motivation is always high, but also we are in the early access, and we're really open with the community from the very early stages of the project.
Yeah, I heard about that. I'm curious what that entails. Really,
and
that'll be cool.
Talks with the community.
This is the Chivalry 2 roadmap, because who gives a fuck about what's going on in this conference right now?
Early access. We have this constant
let's see what they got
on the project, both.
Oh yeah,
and
PS Party's fucking dead, if that's the case.
Which obviously keeps us motivated.
Let's
if
see.
We would be on our own for those like 3.5 years.
Working on party issues and stuff.
Extra time we'll spend on developing this
They want to put a server browser on console, which is good. Increase party size limit.
Those constant talks with the community.
That's good, because I think the party size is limited to 4 right now, which sucks, especially since there's no console server browser yet.
Development and technology often is basically dictates how the game evolves throughout its development. How close to the original concept that you came up with years and years ago
eventually they're going to add horses.
That
could be fun.
That you have currently?
The overall concept, we managed to keep it alive. We managed to keep it true. It's
new character voices, more customization, I guess.
Very
arrow cam,
CRPG type game, which
that's cool.
Is inspired
bringing
by
back
apparently
it's in Chivalry 1, the ability to follow your projectiles to the point of impact.
In that regard,
that would be cool.
All those ideas survived through the process, which is really great. Most of the
not necessarily on the console.
Abilities, perks, and all those little things which this RPGs have built
and much
from, we
more,
managed to.
Why do I not buy it since you didn't list it here?
But obviously, because technology changed and even time passes, some. Less important things, I'd say, like maybe graphics or maybe art style beats or maybe some topics.
Both of these are imminent.
We explore
console
those,
server browser and PS4, PS5 cross-gen party support. I think the server browser is the most important.
RPGs,
because we need to make sure that we can all get into the same games.
It takes many iterations to figure out.
Obviously, I want this because you saw the difference between the PS4 and the PS5 game. It's night and day. Like, it really just feels like the PS4 version doesn't work.
But the original concept, the very heart of it, it's all in there, which is really great.
I'm glad that both of these are apparently coming soon.
About the concept, what's the actual narrative of Encased?
The story of Encased is a story about exploring this anomalous zone, the dome. The player starts as an employee of this Cronus organization, which is the only organization that controls entire dome research and studying. There are 5 departments which are called wings. A player can start in, which affects
the game.
it
has its problems too. See, that's the worst part. The 5 version isn't even perfect.
Which are the security and police services.
You've got the 5 version,
which are scientists.
It's at least a major improvement over the 4.
The silver wing, which are the management.
The bare minimum, it's way better than before.
Ruling wing of the dome of the Cronus. there are blue wing, which are technicians and engineers, and there is this special orange wing, which is contains ex-convicts, which were freed to go to the dome to do various manual labor.
So you've mentioned that the game is set in the early 70s. Not many games have been set in that time period. What prompted you to pick that specific time period?
Well, we think that the 70s is the perfect time for like our game, what we are doing, because 70s is like the last tick on the timeline of the humanity, while there were some blind spots on the planet. First satellites and first people in space, it's all happened in late 50s and early 60s, right? And 70s is the last spot on the timeline when there is some, when satellites do not have this complete web surrounding the Earth and the planet, and there are some blind spots where such an amazing and dangerous place like Dome can be hidden. And from that place, from that time, the story takes its alternative path. Instead of going further to the space, humanity sort of descends into the dome to study it and to do those scientific researches and do those miraculous discoveries, basically.
Yeah, so you mentioned that this is kind of like almost a parallel universe.
Played this one already.
How far did you deviate from what actually happened
in
the 70s?
No, don't give me copyright claim for something in this.
I guess it seems, as you said, that it develops quite a bit.
Yeah, obviously. So the main topic would be obviously that instead of continuing the Cold War, the West and the East, if we can call those, they instead start to explore the ideas of internationalism and exploring the dome together and forming that super corporation Cronus, which is actually the only foundation that explores the dome, controls all the researches and controls the flow of like artifacts and scientific researches which comes from the dome into the rest of the world. And yeah, those ideas are quite different from what happened in the real world, I guess.
And kind of bringing it back to the real world almost. Obviously, you guys are based in Russia, and life in the 70s was very different than life was in the West. How much of that do you think translates to an international audience once we get out there, and how much do you think people won't understand because they just, no one kind of really lived over there, or no one really knew what was happening over there?
Oh, as I said, I think the game pursues the ideas of internationalism when very different parties across the world could put their own struggles, political and other struggles aside to humanity become something bigger when it's combined with everyone is united together. To to ascend to be something more and to explore the dome, its dangers and its discoveries, basically.
Absolutely. Now bringing it kind of back to you guys and the developers again. You mentioned that you were inspired by other games. What games really truly inspired it? Not just games, but media, and also what do you and the team like as well when it comes to video games?
Well, we are here all the hardcore RPG fans, so it's not secret why we, I suppose, picked up a project like this to develop. And it's not a secret that the game is it's in a very hard way was inspired by the Fallout series, and the other great RPG games of late 90s and early 2000s, and some modern ones too, actually.
So speaking about development, what was the hardest part of making the game for you guys?
I think the easier question would be what was the easy part. I can't really come with much things which were easy. It's all it's an everyday struggle in a way. It's a marathon, but it's a happy marathon, and it's a happy everyday struggle basically for us.
Absolutely, and then moving it into that more positive thing, the happy marathon. What are you most proud of when it comes to Incast?
I'm obviously proud of both the team and the project itself, because both us here in the team and our community, we often forget that 3.5 years ago there was nothing, there was emptiness, nothing existed. And here now, 3.5 years later, both with the team effort and the feedback which we get from the community, there is this great universe, a curious world which is almost ready to be explored and to be adventured inside, basically.
And then moving on to the last question, what are the benefits of signing up with a global publisher like Koch Media and being on their new label?
Yeah, the guy's always
been. So we think that signing the partner as Koch Media is really great, because it not only benefits us as developers, but such partnership also benefits our community, our players. We as developers, we get more time to work on the project and polish it so it would be in the perfect state, while our players will enjoy more localizations which will make the game more accessible to the wider audience. We'll get the voiceover done, which just make the game better and bring it on some other higher level.
From an isometric dystopian sci-fi RPG to our next title, which is a fresh take on the action-adventure genre. This team, all the way from Iceland, specifically built a mocap studio for this title, and has the incredible talent Aldous Hamilton as their lead protagonist. I got to sit down with the guys and ask them, what is this game all about?
So Echoes of the End is a cinematic, narrative-driven action-adventure game about Rin, a person who has trained all her life to be a warrior in service to a throne, and is now searching and finding her own identity.
Count the different sizes and shapes of coffee cups on that table.
It's
Why
a game we
do
wanted
they have
to,
so many different sizes and
to make
shapes
all
of
our
coffee
lives,
cups on their
basically.
table?
And for
I
us,
see
what we
4
really wanted to
cups
explore was a marriage of
and
a
4 different
cinematic
sizes and
experience
shapes.
and the
And one of them
narrative, choice-driven storytelling
has a plan in
of RPGs.
That might be a
finding
styrofoam
that
cup.
bridge
I can't
and
tell.
union is what really inspired us to go and make our own video game.
Can't tell, but I don't
Exactly,
think a
and such a
styrofoam
big
cup
integral part of the experience
is the best
how you
when you're
as a
not
player
doing like an
choose to
elementary
interact
school
with
project.
the characters around you, the different
Like
companions.
something tells me the roots would like mess with the
characters that you'll
structural
run into when
integrity of
you're
that after
going
a
about
while.
in the game and
But,
trying to solve all the issues that the player will be that you'll be facing as a player.
What was the inspiration behind it?
We're at a remarkable point in the game industry where, you know, a relatively small team.
The guy on the right
such an ambitious
looks like
vision, and it's actually reasonable.
I don't want to insult him.
And I think we've just recently arrived at that point. You know, there have been some really.
He looks like
great
my
games
dentist,
making leaps
but he doesn't
in the
look
past few
exactly
years,
like my
kind of
dentist.
Paving the way.
The difference is my
as the
dentist is like
tools and hardware and software get more accessible and affordable for smaller developers.
How do I word this? Because I don't want to be rude.
We came
These
to
are all
realize
nice people.
that a game like this might be possible. And it seemed unreal.
He looks like my dentist if my dentist decided to dedicate his life sitting behind a
building up the
desk.
tech and pipelines in
I'll say that.
You know, we saw that this was in fact possible, and it's
But
an
it's weird.
absolute dream for everyone at the company to, you know, be privileged enough to work on a game like this and to
Logic. I don't know much
really
about
shape,
Logic.
The game that we all want to make.
I don't follow
so kind of sticking on that point of development,
that era
and how
or area
technology
of
often
music.
drives the direction of how a game evolves throughout its development. How close to the original concept is the game now?
That's a really good question. So it's rather close. Like I would say we didn't really do any large pivots. We did make some changes,
Oh,
of course,
fuck, he
as
does.
the vision evolved and as we understood better.
It's so
kind of
weird.
What the
He
game
totally
was going
does.
to be and kind
What
of
the
how
fuck?
we scoped it to
This
fit
is
a
Logic.
team
that would be able to execute on it. But I think, we were always,
so weird.
From day one that the
He
idea
totally
of
does.
the game
I absolutely see what
we
you're
were
talking
looking
about.
at the technology that was allow us to make this game, going for really, realistic and stunning visuals, digital doubles for characters, scanned environments, next gen development engines, next gen game engines, kind of all those things were in place for us to make the game. I think the primary things that have changed in the making of the game are more in the details of the execution of that, how we structure the story, what kind of game mechanics we want in a game like that, and really what the identity of our game is and how we separate that from other games.
We genuinely have been making this game. This game, even though it is slightly different, my work as narrative director has not had to change a lot.
Exactly, yeah.
We've mentioned, obviously, at the start and throughout what we've spoke about so far that you guys are based in Iceland, and everyone knows the, picturesque scenery of Iceland. Did you get much inspiration from your homeland in the environment?
Yes,
Actually
absolutely. Iceland is such a phenomenal place to live in, and it's a beautiful country that's been featured in, many films. And
the guy on the left has
us.
like a really built neck.
The funny thing is that us growing up in Iceland, this is normalcy for us.
It's honestly like when I was in middle school and high school, and I'd try and draw
the rest of the world isn't that fantasy.
The bust part of a person, like the head and down to the shoulders and everything.
But yeah, I mean, it's
and
absolutely.
there was an era where I didn't know how to draw shit except for the neck.
A lot of us
be
grew up in the country,
veiny and shit and sticking out.
We pull from
This guy works out his fucking neck, and that's it. It's impressive as shit.
In the game.
I don't know the practical use of it.
Based in Iceland, of course.
But I am curious what he does.
From the more fantasy level.
That is like a fucking neck right there. If you could bench press with your head, this guy would have a world record.
To Icelandic natural phenomenons to scan and
again, I don't want to roast these people.
We don't want to make a game about
Vikings. Don't. I'm just bored
because it's something that's.
I don't know what else to do.
And we really want to make.
They seem like really nice people, and I hope their games are successful. And I'm complimenting them because he has a bodybuilder neck.
The main character at the very start. Tell us about her. Tell us, why.
The guy, he's got a baby
why
face.
Does she exist the way
most people, when they have a baby face,
I'll hand that one off to you. I think.
Yeah, it's always a tricky question to answer.
He needs to grow more of a beard. He's got a little bit on the chin. He needs more. He's got a baby face right now.
As I say, she is a character, a person trained from birth to be a weapon.
So he could be 20, or he could be 40.
Was really fascinating in exploring.
But no, he's definitely younger. I would say if I had to guess,
the juxtaposition between purpose and independence. And Rin is a character burdened by purpose and chained to it. She has been given a purpose not of her own choosing, not by her own volition, but one that she has inherent to her birth and very existence. Throughout this game in particular, we want to explore the journey of going beyond that purpose and going beyond what role you are born into.
For real, dude.
And seizing
it's the neck exercises.
The world by the throat.
That's a trick. You gotta get enough blood flowing to your face to keep the wrinkles away.
She's born with certain
This guy discovered the fountain of youth, and it's working out the neck. None of us have considered this possibility.
Individual. But
none
with that power come.
It's something I honestly when gyms are fully open, I'm comfortable going to them again. I'm gonna have an arm day. I'm gonna have a neck day.
That's general enough to avoid spoilers.
Yeah,
Would you like to add to that?
And
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
To add a layer to that, I think with the main character, she's.
Maybe I can do push-ups with only
constantly meeting new people.
Have my forehead on the ground, just push myself up on my neck.
We start with her familiar setting,
something.
Her kind of role in society, and her kind of what's expected of her.
Be looking
we kind of break free from that throughout the game as we meet different characters, and Rin kind of finds her own path and purpose, like Magnus spoke on. And I think that's really where the player also steps in and kind of forms those new relationships that Rin forms throughout the game, and really is an effector on those. I think what really heightens
look like this,
Rin as a character in the game is the performance by the excellent actress behind her, who is Aldís Amma Hamilton, who is absolutely phenomenal at portraying
that guy. Has a bodybuilder neck.
What's the hardest part of game development so far? I know you guys are still in the development, but what's been the most challenging?
The most challenging part of game development.
I think that's a different answer for every team.
Yes, I think that's a different answer for every game, and I think it even might be a different answer for every team member, depending on the different perspective that they have into the game development. I think for us, it's been vitally important to find the right people to work on the game. And that's a really difficult thing to do, finding the right people who you believe in and who are really passionate about making games like this. And we've been lucky enough to find the right people so far, and we have exceptionally talented people on board with us making this game. And I think while that is often from the outset it's an invisible part of game development, but it's absolutely essential and extremely difficult.
Yeah, so you kind of mentioned before that Iceland's quite small. Does that mean that you guys kind of struggle to find that talent that's out there, or is it quite rich in terms of game development?
So, as usual, Iceland is excellent per capita. We're the best at everything per capita. And among those in the Nordics, we have the most developers per capita.
He kind of does, but
I'm look at the fact that we only like 300.
I'm already in the middle.
Basically, a small fisher town, someplace. But Iceland is completely unique in the way that CCP, another pretty well-known developer here in Iceland, kind of paved the way for all the other game developers here that are now thriving. We have a great educational infrastructure that pretty much covers all the different fields of game development here in Iceland. So we have exceptional talent coming out. And so I think, considering the size, we have great access to talent. And another part of it is that we've had a lot of Icelanders who got into game development early and moved to other countries and then moved back with a lot of experience helping new teams form and build games here. So while it's definitely a challenge to find people in a smaller nation, we're blessed by the fact that we do have exceptional talent here, and we have an educational system that is actively each year graduating new students who know game development.
What Haldor is saying is that we're a nation of nerds.
Yes. And like another per capita is that, I don't know, it's an incredibly high number of people in Iceland who play games at all ages.
Yep.
Like an insanely high number.
Yeah, that's really crazy. And, we've kind of mentioned what's the most difficult part about game development, but what are you most proud of up until this point?
That's, it's not, it's a difficult question to answer because there's so many things. I mean, making games is, it takes so many people to do so many things for it to go correctly. And I think what we're most proud of is that so far we seem to be doing it correctly with the great people. So I think what we're most proud of is the team and the progress that we made with this team.
Yeah, I think that's a very good answer in general, that just the talent we've collected around us and the friendships that have formed so strongly within this company.
Yeah.
I think that's invaluable and is what's going to drive it forward.
And then, finally, guys, what are the benefits of signing up with a global publisher like Koch Media and being part of their brand new label?
That's a great question. So obviously we touched on the part that we're kind of stuck in Iceland, so our outreach is quite limited on an island in the sea. No, but all jokes aside, the main benefit is that it's an extension of the team, and it's a great extension of the team.
Yeah.
We talk about the things that have been the most difficult, and that's building the team, and the things that we're most proud of, which is again the team that we built. And for us, Koch is a fantastic extension to the team. It's a publisher full of great people who are really passionate about games, and they're empowering us.
I don't blame him, but the fact that he called it
worldwide, and I think that's
you look at it and phonetically that's how it's pronounced.
Could ask for in a publisher,
but it's
we are
Cook most of the time.
To have you guys.
And
thank you.
This girl's
so
been
much
pronouncing
for your
it
time,
Koch.
and I cannot wait to
I don't know how
people
it
more
technically is, but it's not
about
Koch.
Echoes of the End.
From one side of the globe all the way to the other. If you like the game Gothic and hardcore RPGs, The Last Oricru is just for you. I got to sit down with two of the guys from Gold Knights and talk all about them and their new game.
Hello there, guys. Today I am joined by Gold Knights creative and game director Pavel Strunad, and executive producer Vladimir Gershel to talk about their game, The Last Oricru.
Hi, Opal.
Hi, Opal.
So you guys make The Last Oricru. What is the game about?
It's an action RPG where I try to show the relativity of good and evil from different perspectives of living and breathing world.
So when you guys say living and breathing, what do you mean exactly?
It is important to understand that The Last Oricru is quite challenging and skill-based RPG, but compared to many other titles in this genre, our story does not take place in some dark and deadly realm. Waking up in a living and breathing sci-fi medieval world of Wardenia, players find themselves in the middle of war for supremacy over the whole planet.
There's something interesting about the war. As usual, warriors
I think I'm their target
they
audience.
do the right thing, often fighting for survival
But
and well-being of their people.
I'm not sure, because
So
I
the
really
idea
am not
of the
enjoying
game
this.
is to show the player the war and the euphoria of the winners,
I
but
think
also the misery of the losers.
they just
to make the player realize
I don't think there is
that
an
the number of
audience who would
decisions you
enjoy
can make
this.
in the game will affect all the living beings.
I
in the
don't
war.
think so. I
So
could
you
be
mentioned
wrong.
that you make
I
choices
don't think there's an
during
audience who
The
would
Last Oricru. How impactful are they?
The impact is major. First of all, you are the one who decides
Gotta look
which
to the
side
future.
will win the war. But there are many different roads.
The good E3
through the
shows.
game, and you can experience the whole game.
Even
only
Ubisoft
after
is
you
going to be
play.
fucking great
I want
compared
to
to
give
this.
the-
Dude,
every player
Ubisoft
his
is going to
own
be sick
experience and try
compared
not
to
push
this.
any moral code of what
They're
is
going to
wrong
show
and what is
games.
right.
Yeah, they're going to suck when
Simply,
they come
you make
out.
the decision and actions
But it's
based
going
on
to be
that
much
individual
better than what's
characters
going
and
on
their
right
own
now.
reactions. This creates different situations.
I've been live for almost
so you
2
can
hours,
find your own friends
and nothing has
allies
happened.
And apply the way
Nothing.
how you think it's right or fun.
Exactly.
a thing.
Each player can define their own path, to side with different factions or betray them and influence the future of each race and in the end the entire planet, basically. And it is not done just by few choices somewhere in dialogues or by completing some quests.
Right?
But by your continuous actions.
To be fair, there wasn't
decisions.
really anything
Let me give you an example.
today.
In
This
many
was just
scenarios,
this was super interesting because I was like, okay, these guys own
and
like
you can obviously refuse
Saints
doing
Row,
that,
and
but
they
if
own
you
like
decide
Dead
to kill
Island,
him,
and they own all these
there are
other
many
games.
possibilities of,
And then they
what
said,
you
okay,
can
well,
do
we're
with
not
his
showing
head,
any of that
which
shit.
serves as a proof of his death.
And we're not even
You
gonna really
can
show
keep
any of
it
this
and
other
become
shit
hero,
either.
or you can
We're gonna
give it to
just
the queen
have the
and
developers
come
talk
closer to
about
her
stuff,
heart.
and
Or
who
you
gives
can
a
give
fuck,
it to another
and
characters
that's it.
of this conflict with,
That's where we
with
are.
different outcomes.
While I'm playing, guys, if I decide to be a little bit mischievous and kind of go down the route of everyone hating me, what does that mean for me?
Yeah,
Means
there is
everyone
an
hates
option
you.
That you will try to do as much harm. To
Like,
do
if
as
you
many
make everyone
deeds as
hate you, they
possible,
hate- like,
and there are
that's-
some dark characters that will be
That's how it
pleased
works in
by
any
that.
game.
However, cooperation with them may be eventually very painful for you.
Like asking, if
That's
I
another
decide to be a
interesting
bad
thing,
guy,
that
are
often
people
there is
gonna
some
think I'm
hidden
not a
power
good guy
involved in
anymore?
many wars, which profits from both sides of the conflict. And the
Dude,
conflict
yeah.
itself.
I'd
Thus,
be
this is
sitting
the
here
hidden part in the
and
game.
I would be
You can play,
super,
but it
super
will be
disappointed
brutally
when the end
difficult.
comes around and none of
So the
those
game
happen.
has co-op.
Because I fully
Can a
expected at
friend
least
help
one
me
of
with
them.
boss
Hey,
battles? Can we
Time
play
Splitters,
the
they
whole
just
entire game
announced they were
together?
working on
How
something,
does
so I
this
was
work?
almost positive they were going to say something about that.
Play games which are super
But they
exciting for
they
you,
got
but
rid
you
of
feel
that,
a bit sad
and
that
like
you cannot
Saints
share
Row,
that
I was
experience with
thinking,
anyone.
they got rid of
That's
that.
another idea.
All of it just.
There is a great demand
I'm glad
for couch play
Deep
in
Silver
the whole
confirmed that
third-person action RPG genre. So we are sure that for our future audience, the co-op is going to be one of the most or the key features of our game, and that's why we went even farther. We have many situations what can be solved in co-op differently than in single player. So you can find new fun ways of how to kill some bosses, or solve some puzzles, or reach some special secret areas. But you know, at the end of the day, combat is bread and butter of an RPG. So if you, for example, play as a
I don't think I can even
while
check
the
anything
second
off
player
on this,
plays
'cause
magic
this wasn't on
support,
my
you will
bingo
enjoy
board.
tens of awesome hours of shared fun.
Oh, wait, so you're telling me there's magic and melee? What does this mean for the combat of the game?
Well, the combat is targeted at more experienced players. I'm very much on the wave of recent challenging RPGs that are based on the skills of the player, timing and stamina.
I'm gonna say something that's true. The Mark Cerny PlayStation 5 presentation where they spent like an hour talking about the fucking solid state drive was more interesting.
But, you know, don't forget that our world
has
100%
more interesting.
For someone making,
and it's not just saying it
more developed culture
to be like, oh wow, off the walls and crazy. Like it's the truth. Because I at least was like, oh cool, we're getting a fast solid state drive. Like this is really fast.
To be under Koch Media's brand new label.
From this has been
honestly, it was the best
remotely interesting.
Development. It helped us
if I was any of these developers, I would be pissed because I would say you were taking any possible hype our game could have had and eliminating it before it even gets out of the starting gate.
To make better games. So far, it was the best.
Because that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, I'm very pleased that I could use my long-standing experience with big publishing houses and restructure the game and the team to shape, which was the right fit for
I probably would have too.
Partner as a
honestly.
Like
I'm committed to this though. I'm co-streaming it. I committed myself to do it. I put it if it's on the schedule, I'm doing it.
Franchise.
Limited run is gonna suck too.
Starting portfolio of a brand.
But at least that's on Monday, and I can go back and during it I can watch trailers that have happened and stuff. Summer Games Fest had some stuff, but
thank you so much, Pavel and Vladimir, for your time. It's been awesome talking to you about everything the Lust Aura crew.
Hey, I'll give them credit.
I just can't wait for people to get their hands on it.
Too long.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
We teased it in the sizzle, and now let's hear from our friends at Starbreeze to talk about Payday 2, Payday 3, and their upcoming cooperation with Prime Matter.
Did Payday 3 come out?
Thank you, Jeff, and hi, everyone. We're excited to be here, excited to talk about Payday, and excited to be working with Prime Matter. At Starbreeze, we see Payday as the ultimate bank robbing experience, inspired by
Payday's a
classic
really
heist
cool
movies,
game.
providing adrenaline-fueled gameplay where you get to experience the thrill of being on the wrong side of the law with a smart plan and a gun in your hand. This is what we've been doing since the original game, Payday the Heist, through the sequel, Payday 2, to the upcoming Payday 3. And our ever-growing player
I don't know
community,
why we haven't
our
played
heisters,
Payday more.
continue
Payday
to
is
be
a
an
good
inspiration for us in everything we do, pushing us to make the best Payday possible.
It's gonna be copywritten stuff. You know what? I've already played enough of it to get copyright claims.
The world of Payday is an exaggerated reflection of reality where order is kept by the long arm of the law. At least until the heisters turn this order into chaos, giving the law the middle finger. That's when adrenaline truly kicks in and the outnumbered gang keeps beating the odds, often escaping with the cash in a hail of bullets. The Payday universe has an ongoing narrative that has been created over the years. The gang has built a reputation by going after the highest profile targets, setting up some of the craziest heist plans, and going up against some of the most powerful of enemies. And through all of this, the gang keeps coming out on top. In their exploits, the gang has become, as they call it, the tightest crew ever. The wider criminal underworld of Payday lives its own life, where movers and shakers want a piece of the action, or a piece of the Payday gang. In the gang's life of crime, they are way past the point of no return. And as we look ahead for what's to come, the gang will learn that there's no rest for the wicked.
Yeah. 100%, yeah. Wait,
This
oh,
legacy
no,
is
wait.
something that we treasure and will build on, expanding on this epic
Giancarlo
story,
Esposito's in this
taking it
too?
all with us into the future of Payday. Many millions of players have enjoyed Payday so far.
Oh, no, what was
It's been
that?
an amazing
Is he in the
journey
game?
for us at Starbreeze. On Steam, Payday 2 has the biggest player community of any game. This truly means the world to us.
Payday turns 10 this year, but we're only getting started. With our team hard at work, cooperation with Prime Matter and other partners, and above all, a fantastic player community, we are looking to the future with great anticipation.
I'm rich. It's payday, fellas.
The release
Are
of
they-
Payday 3
no, we're-
is years away, but
What
we
was-
could
why
finish
did they
off
show
today
him?
with a sneak
I don't
peek
think
of
he's
what
in the
we're working
game.
on. A taste of things to come.
Yeah, why did they show him? That was weird.
Well, there you have it. Quite a lineup. And
See, that's how all of these should have been.
From Prime Matter in the
See,
weeks
when it's
and
an
months
actual
ahead, right?
game people give a damn about,
Question, Jeff. Prime
they
Matter
do
will be
it
taking a
right
huge leap
because
into
the
streaming
team
world.
knows what they're
From June
doing.
14th, we'll be streaming 3 times a week, every week, providing you guys with gameplay
But I'm still
content,
curious why they showed
achievement and
Giancarlo
trophy hunting
Esposito.
streams, as well as Dungeons and Dragons in our own universes, cooking streams, and so much more. We also want to get our developers involved and have it so that you guys get to know our developers better. Not only that, but expect to see a lot more shows from us in the future. And Jeff can help us out too.
Absolutely. I cannot wait to see what Prime Matter has for us in the future. Thanks for announcing with us yesterday at Summer Game Fest, and I look forward to being back with you again later this summer.
No worries, Jeff, and thank you for your time. It's been awesome hosting with you, and I can't wait to do more in the future. And a thanks to you guys watching, to the streamers who are co-streaming, to our new gamers who are looking forward to the titles that we've shown you today. We are focusing on making fun, unique, and honest content for you guys. So, stay safe.
I hate
stay
how
cool,
much I hated
and I will
this.
see you guys on Monday. Bye.
Because I like the people who are on this. Like that girl, she did a really good job and everything. All the developers seem like nice people, but fuck, the format was awful. Like spending so long on those interviews. Damn, this was a 2-hour stream. Jeff's amazing. I love Jeff. He is E3. Like E3 without Jeff Keighley is not E3. The day Jeff Keighley retires is the day E3 dies, if it doesn't die before. Okay, so we got through that. I wonder if we'll see Payday 3 at like Microsoft's conference or something. Let me see if I can figure out anything about it. Payday 3. Okay, so planned release for Payday 3 is 2023. I wonder how much Payday 2 is on PlayStation right now. Hold on a second. What the fuck? Is it really this cheap? I'm so fucking mad. The Google search result said $4. But it's not, it's 20. I'm so mad. I was about to say we're all getting this, but no. For 20, no. Man. That's so disappointing. Do we all own Payday 1? I'm curious. Is Payday 1 even on the PS4? Let me see. Yeah, 2 on disc. Damn. I don't even have 2, so. Yeah, we'll have to see if Payday 2 goes on sale. I think we definitely should get it. Probably the full version. But only when it goes on sale. There's no rush. Like, we got Chivalry 2, we got Knockout City, we got stuff, you know. But yeah. Okay, so that's that. Nothing to check off on bingo. And tomorrow is Ubisoft at the same time, and Ubisoft is going to be so much better. And then after Ubisoft is going to be a shorter conference too, if you notice. Like, there's only an hour and a half between Ubisoft and Devolver, and they don't overlap the major conferences. If they do, then I have a really big conundrum, because I don't want to catch the end of Ubisoft's, and I don't want to miss Devolver. But, got Ubisoft and Devolver. It's going to be fun. Ubisoft, again, it's going to kind of blow, but it's going to be better than today. And then Sunday is, like, E-fucking-3. Like, this is where it hits the ground running. And then, of course, Monday kind of blows again. But then Tuesday, we get Nintendo. So, got a lot on the horizon, at least. Today was a slog, but the rest of it should be really good. So, fingers crossed. But anyway, I'm going to head off. I'll be streaming this again tomorrow, I guess, whenever Ubisoft's about to go live. So, peace out.